Hello, this video is about basic components of an ecosystem. This video is by Julia Persis S., Assistant Professor of English, St. Joseph's College of Arts and Science for Women, Ozur.
Definition of an ecosystem. An ecosystem or ecological system is a system that environments and their organisms form through their interaction. The biotic and abiotic components are linked together through nutrient cycles and energy flows. Ecosystems are controlled by external and internal factors. External factors such as climate, parent material, which forms the soil and topography, controls the overall structure of an ecosystem, but are not themselves influenced by the ecosystem. Internal factors are controlled, for example, by decomposition, root competition, shading, disturbance, succession, and the types of species present. While the resource inputs are generally controlled by external processes, the availability of these resources within the ecosystem is controlled by internal factors. Therefore, internal factors not only control ecosystem processes but are also controlled by them. Origin of the term. The term ecosystem was first used in 1935 in a publication by British ecologist Arthur Chansley. The term was coined by Arthur Roy Hampton, who came up with the word at Chansley's request. Components of an ecosystem. There are two main components of an ecosystem which are in constant communication with each other. They are the biotic components and the abiotic components. Biotic components of an ecosystem. The living components of an ecosystem are called the biotic components. Some of these factors include plants, animals, as well as fungi and bacteria. These biotic components can be further classified based on the energy requirement source. Producers, consumers, and decomposers are the three broad categories of biotic components. Producers. Producers are the plants in the ecosystem which can generate their own energy requirements through photosynthesis in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. All other living beings are dependent on plants for their energy requirements for food as well as oxygen. Consumers. Consumers include herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores. The herbivores are the living organisms that feed on plants. Carnivores eat other living organisms. Omnivores are animals that can eat both plants and animal tissue. Decomposers. Decomposers are the fungi and bacteria which are the saprophytes. They feed on the decaying organic matter and convert this matter into nitrogen and carbon dioxide. The saprophytes play a vital role in recycling the nutrients so that the producers, that is plants, can use them once again. When an animal dies, the dead body is decomposed and is used by the decomposers for their own growth. Thus, a big dead elephant gets decomposed and is eaten up by the decomposers in a few days. The waste of the living organisms are also decomposed in this way. The decomposers perform a useful job. They are like scavengers, but for the decomposers, the world will be filled with noxious waste and dead bodies. Abiotic components of an ecosystem. Abiotic components are the physical or and the chemical factors that act on the living organisms at any part of their life. These are also called as the ecological factors. The physical and chemical factors are characteristic of the environment. Light, air, soil, and nutrients, etc., form the abiotic components of an ecosystem. These or the non-living components of an ecosystem. Some non-living components are wind, water, sunlight, atmosphere, soil, and temperature. The abiotic factors vary from ecosystem to ecosystem. In an aquatic ecosystem, the abiotic factors may include water pH, sunlight, turbidity, water depth, salinity, available nutrients, and dissolved oxygen. Similarly, abiotic factors in terrestrial ecosystems can include soil, soil type, temperature, rain, altitude, wind, nutrients, sunlight, etc. In conclusion, ecosystems have a complex set of interactions that happen between the biotic and abiotic components. The components of an ecosystem are linked to each other through the energy flows and nutrient cycles. Even though ecosystems do not have clear boundaries, these interactions get affected even if one factor is changed or removed. This ultimately has the capacity to affect the entire ecosystem. Question. Describe the different components of an ecosystem.